It's Thursday, 12th October 2023. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. On the news this evening, police arrest wife of victim of hot groundnut oil bath. Brother of man killed by gunmen in Port Harcourt calls for justice. Stakeholder calls for security summits in Rivers State. Panic over gas leak in Rivers State. President Tinubu appoints new EFCC chairman. On the foreign scene, UN describes situation in Gaza as horrible. I am Constance Mega. We begin the news this Thursday evening with Ken Asuru, younger brother to the late Roland Asuru, one of the three men shot dead in Port Harcourt, calling for justice. He urged security agencies to intensify efforts to bring the killers of his brother to book. As you may know, Roland Asuru was killed by unidentified gunmen on Wapara Street, Old Aba Road in Port Harcourt on Tuesday night. We're speaking to our correspondent, Emeka Otuka. His brother Ken said the family is deeply devastated by the incident. He said Roland left behind 4 children.
As a family, we are saddened. As a community, the Oro people, the Obakere people at large, we are saddened, and we are calling on the security agencies to do more and bring these criminals to justice, bring them to book. You can't just come and take away a young man's life, a responsible young man with 4 kids, for nothing.
Also, a close friend of the late Roland, Rollins Obot, who was with him in the car during the incident, recounted what happened.
So at about 9 p.m., so we went somewhere in Rumomasi just to get takeaway. So upon reaching there, the security of the place was trying to open the gate, and all of a sudden I heard gunshot. And we didn't know where the gunshot was coming from. When I turned to ask Roland if that's how the neighborhood is, so I just heard him scream, waiting happened. So as I turned by him, there was a guy with a gun, and simultaneously somebody opened the door to where I was sitting because I was the one in front with him. So he opened the door, pointed a gun at my head, ordered me to come down from the car and lie down. I laid down. He asked for my phone. So he snatched my watch from me, and I removed my pair of shoes.
The Rivers State Police Command says it has arrested Mrs. Hope Nwala for allegedly pouring hot groundnut oil on her husband, Ekelediri Nwankwo, in Okehi community, Eche, local government area of Rivers State. Spokesperson of the command, Grace Iringe Koko, revealed this in a statement to journalists today. Recall that the victim with severe burns said his wife poured oil on him while he was asleep after a heated argument over his decision to send away his sister-in-law, who had been disrespectful to him. Human rights advocate Clifford Solomon has called on the Rivers State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, to convene a security summit to address the escalating security situation in the state. Mr. Solomon said this while speaking to correspondent Emeka Otuka on the recent attacks and killings and armed robbery in parts of the state.
DHRD therefore called on the Executive Governor of Rivers State, Sir Siminalayi Joseph Fubara, to immediately convoke a security summit in Rivers State where all stakeholders and different civil society organizations will be invited and lasting security measures will be taken. The Police, Department of State Security Service (DSS), Army, Navy, Air Force, and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps should wake up to their responsibilities in tackling the raging security issues in the state and not to appear overwhelmed.
Mr. Solomon, who is also the chairman of the Defense for Human Rights and Democracy, called on the State Commissioner of Police, Nwunye to provide adequate security measures that would guarantee the safety of residents and businesses.
Barely 1 week when the Rivers State Commissioner of Police, CP Nwoye Emeka Polycarp, launched Operation Zero Crime Initiative in the state, there is an upsurge in the heinous crime. The Defense for Human Rights and Democracy, DHRD, is disturbed on the resurgence of killings, car snatching, and armed robbery attacks perpetrated in Rivers State. DHRD is placing a clarion call on the Nigerian police for a more collaborative effort amongst the security formations in the state and prioritize crime prevention.
Well, recall that 3 men were on Tuesday night shot dead in separate locations in Port Harcourt by unidentified gunmen who also snatched their vehicles. Moving on, some natives of Obage in Ogba Egbemandoni local government area of Rivers State have raised alarm over gas leakage in a flow line. The natives said the leakage had lasted for more than 1 month without any intervention. They called on the relevant government agencies to urgently do something to prevent damage in their community. An elder in the community, Benson Sunday, spoke to correspondent Soibi Oruwari.
We are calling on Nozra state government to visit the site to ascertain the devastating effects of the affected area. The flow line from Idu Oba flow station that crossed Obage community to Ajib plant at Obiobi for over 2 months now. The leakage persists. All effort to reach management prove abortive. The noise pollution is very enormous, and the effect of the gas has caused serious ecological damage.
Mr. Sunday said many of the residents have been living in fear since the leakage was noticed.
If this leakage has happened in dry season, that means we could have been in serious danger of fire outbreak. We don't sleep at night due to the huge noise emanating from the leakage site, and nothing has been done. I don't sleep at night because the leakage is just right at the pipeline come across the back of my house. So it is very dangerous to allow it continue like this.
Well, on his part, the chairman of the Community Development Committee of Obage, Ngozi Paul, said nothing has been done to stop the leakage since they reached out to the owners of the facility.
And they will have called them, have sent the invitation to them for them to come and care of the line. So they have come 2 times, last 3 weeks or 1 month ago now, nothing else has been done up to now. So the chiefs and the youth, the communities are worried of that line leakage. We are in danger of flooding. So please, they should help us, just like as I sent invitation to them, for them to come and bring that thing down, so that the community will rest.
Some business owners shops with the Ulachi area of Mount Udob in Port Harcourt say hoodlums are looting their goods and property following the demolition notice issued by the state government ahead of the construction of the Port Harcourt Ring Road. A correspondent who visited the area reports that the roofs and burglaries of most buildings have been moved. Well, some of the tenants spoke to our correspondents.
As the government just talk say they want collect this side, before you know it, all the bad boys they scatter everywhere. They steal, they loot things. The bad boys wey full this Ilabuchi, anywhere where they scatter, the bad boys no they agree make we touch anything. Then they collect both everything. Just yesterday we were removing our gates. They just said we should bring that gate.
Yesterday now these boys just come now come they scatter. Even the Lord they made them come out the roofs. So now as long as them come out the roofs, now the way now the boys now they can't get more privilege. They can't like start since them. You know that if you come out your goods, collect your goods, go sell.
Yesterday, it's not a child's play. It's come out, begin to they put them at yesterday.
They also criticized the Rivers State government for issuing them a brief eviction notice.
We don't even know where to start. And the way they see the project, maybe project of maybe 2-3 years. And like 8 years, because the way it seems they working on, maybe the way we can they home. Nobody like we get the shops, they no compensate us, nothing. Now even singles rooms where they inside streets like you, they pay like 250,000 so that the person fits move, put our goods.
The information not to come early like that. I mean, when I enter inside streets, pay for 1 room. And now because say they think they ought now the landlord them of that yard don't carry the rent up because of say goods now one pack inside.
Landlord they are not saying anything. All they know is that they have give them their own money. They have paid for the building. They now move. Some of the landlords they are walking up and down here yesterday. They couldn't say anything.
In other news, the spokesman of the Labour Party in Rivers State, Gugu Wellington, has urged the leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress in the state to start engaging the state government so that civil servants in the state will enjoy the 35,000 naira federal government provisional salary award. Mr. Wellington spoke to correspondent Sobi Oruwari on this.
We have been listening to see if the Labour in the state would subsequently engage the Rivers government to enable workers in the state also benefit from this provisional salary increase. We are yet to hear anything serious. Rivers State leadership of NLC to immediately get and see that whatever agreement is reached from the national also trickles down to the workers in Rivers State.
Well, the Rivers State Party spokesman also advised organized labor of government.
And although the house is umbrella still experiencing untold hardship as a result of this subsidy removal and other very bad policies, economic policies of government, but I believe the the NLC in Rivers State should engage the government, the state government, to see that because I know there is a memo that's supposed to be transmitted from the National Secretary NLC to the State Director of NLCs. I'm sure that has been done or not.
Well, as you may know, organized labour suspended its planned indefinite strike after the federal government promised to pay the 5,000 naira salaries to civil servants 6 months as a way to reduce the impact of fuel subsidy removal. Head of media Obi Dati campaign candle Dero Onifade Obi to President Bulletin to reintroduce himself. It's for the country and not about the party. Mr. Onifade said today on Nigerian FM Crossfire and said Nigerians must join hands to ensure that the right things are done.
It isn't so much problem of Labour Party or Obligati. You created a result from government college laws that you obtained in 1970. Government legislation was not established in 1974. And then you have another result that has the same and the same case as a typographical error. And that same that they say is a typographical error also has somebody's social security number who is clear. This is about our country. This is the thing that stood up to speak for the United Nations.
Mr. Adiro Onifade also criticized BBC's fact check on President Tinubu's certificates.
The BBC is not a witness of conscience in this matter. The only journalist that Tinubu sat down with during the election cycle, he declined all media invasion, but sat down with Peter Okoche of BBC. And you saw how can contrive that story. Peter Okoche has a brother working for TVC, Tinubu's TV station. So you can imagine there are these incestuous relationship between President Tinubu and his outfit and the BBC.
Moving on, optometrist Victoria Ede says promoting workplace safety practices is essential in addressing the increasing incidence of blindness and visual impairment. Dr. Ede said this in an interview with our correspondent in recognition of World Sight Day. She said regular checkups are a vital step in preventing eye-related issues.
Check your eyes at least 1 2 years for an adult. For children and one once a week. There are some things you can do for yourself. I always use the internet. 20. After looking at your system or do some things, 20 feet and wait 20 seconds. You roll your eyes. Apart from that, if you work in a place where you are exposed to hazards like the world, there's need for you to always get your safety goggles. If you are into chemical industry, also use your safety at work.
But Dr. Ede also encouraged residents of Rivers State to be mindful of activities and habits that exert strain or pressure on the eyes.
One thing that early detects about lights out. So quit moving. Let you always go out to the sun, wear your sunglasses, wear brim hat, go to with your eyes, prevent cancer and blood. Avoid drinking, alcohol increases the pressure of the eyes. Quit smoking, always wear brim hat, protect cancer.
As you may know, World Sight Day is an annual event celebrated every 12th of October globally to improve eye health and reduce avoidable blindness. The theme for this year is Love Your Eyes at Work. Still to come, President Tinubu appoints new EFCC chairman. Stay tuned.
Center for Disaster
The Survival of Ogoni People, MOSOP, says it's conducted its by-election to fill vacant offices on Wednesday with the emergence of the winner into key places. A statement by MOSOP Electoral Chairman Prince Timothy, Secretary, listed winners to include Simeon Nubirida, Nubarido Wail, General Secretary, Saviour Imbe, Publicity and the Army Treasurer. The House of Representatives has screened the preliminary needs to the board and management of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. But this was made known in a statement jointly signed by the Chairperson House Committee on NDDC, Riake Iriswenu, and Chairman Committee on Media, Affairs, Akin wrote today. President Bola Tinubu was aggressive in nature and prayed for its dismissal. President Bola Tinubu has appointed Ola Olukoyede as chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Mr. Olukoyede's appointment follows the resignation of the suspended chairman of the commission, Abdurrashid Bawa. And President Tinubu also appointed Muhammad Hamajoda as the secretary of the EFCC. In business, the Executive Director, Institute for Export Management, Ofon Udofia, says for the government education of the nation economy, it may attend to the quality of goods produced in the country. Mr. Udofia, who's on Niger 4FM's Talking Figures program, said the nation's export activities should be focused on enhancing non-oil exports among us.
We should look beyond the non-traditional export, which is crude oil, and then look at value addition, like the lubricant, like the grease, and the rest. These are components that are not actually petroleum, but they are from the petrochemical. We have a lot of cargo. How do we carry our cargo? It's unfortunate. We don't have a national airline interest. Our cargo is carried by foreign airlines. When you are saying they are making money, and they are allowed to take this money back to their country.
In entertainment, negotiations between major Hollywood studios and actors have been suspended. Well, this means that production of certain shows and movies could remain on pause. The Actors Union has been on strike since July. In sports, the International Olympic Committee's executive board has suspended the Russian Olympic Committee with immediate effect until further notice.
News from around the world.
The UN World Food Programme says the situation in Gaza is higher, with food and water running out during an EC. It said the Palestinian enclave is trying to generate its only power station ran out of fuel. Israel says its blockade won't end until Israeli hostages are released. At least 150 hostages into Gaza during mass attacks at the weekend that killed over 1,000 people. On the news, we heard that the police woman found oil on her husband. Ken Asuru, the brother of a man killed by gunmen in Port Harcourt, is appealing to police for justice. Clifford Solomon wants the River State governor to convene a security summit to address the security challenges in the state. President Bola Tinubu has appointed Ola Olukoyede as the new chairman of the EFCC. On the foreign scene, you heard that the UN has described the situation in Gaza as horrible. The news was edited by Kachimu. The weather in Port Harcourt this evening. To the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp. Peace. I Mega. Thank you.